Almost a year and a half ago, I created a YouTube channel with the simple goal of becoming monetized. Nearly 100 videos later, I've exceeded that goal, growing to just over 5,000 subscribers after 19 months of uploads. In today's video, I wanted to give you guys some transparency on how much money I make and what kind of work goes into developing a small finance channel such as mine. We're going to get into some of the details that other videos of this nature don't talk about. Important notes to remember when analyzing a topic like this, especially if you're considering starting your own YouTube channel as a way of earning some side money. This is going to be quite a long video, so here are some timestamps if you just want to skip to a particular section you're interested in. I will also link them in the description below so you can just click on them to skip ahead. I know some of you just want to know the number. But if you care to listen how I got there and what kind of things I would have done differently, please consider watching. Let's get started with a bit of analytics. First, let's talk about subscribers and how overrated your subscriber count really is. When it comes to making money on YouTube, subscribers don't really matter. Of course, to begin earning money on the platform and to join the exclusive YouTube Partner Program, you will need to achieve a minimum of 1,000 subscribers. But really, after that mark and upon entry into your program, your subscriber count doesn't really affect your revenue as much as you think. When we talk about how much a YouTuber makes, the only thing that matters is views. Sure, subscribers give you a solid base of people when you initially go live, but at the end of the day, if somebody has 1 million views and 100 subscribers, they will earn much more money than someone with 1 million subscribers and 100 views. Just take a look at my most popular video ever. We can see that it received 103,000 views. Of those, only 1% were subscribers. 99% of the people who came across that video are not subscribed and will likely remain that way. We can logically assume that 99% of the ad revenue received from that video was not sourced by way of my sub count. Obviously, there's a definite correlation between your popularity on the platform and your sub count. But in terms of ad revenue, it's not the subscriber count that matters. Views are really what you should be focused on, like I was saying, but they come with a big asterisk. Not all views are created equally. The value of someone's view is explained by a very important metric called CPM, a measurement that is not static and depends on a number of different things like the age of the person watching our video, the country, the gender, the video category itself, and whether or not that person has ad block enabled. For an example, if someone has ad block running and they watch your video, you're going to make exactly $0. If YouTube cannot serve the person watching an ad, they are not going to pay you. Depending on all those factors I mentioned earlier, advertisers will pay YouTube a set amount of money for each eyeball that comes across their ad. YouTube will then divvy up those payments to creators. In more simple terms, CPM measures how much YouTube is paying someone per 1,000 views. This number, as we will see, varies widely and can make estimating someone's true earnings incredibly difficult. But before we begin to dig deeper on CPM, there is something you must understand about this great metric. YouTube and others throughout the creator community talk about CPM in a different way than what I'm about to explain. YouTube will show you a number called playback-based CPM, which measures the amount of money received for every 1,000 monetized views. The key word there being monetized. This can be quite confusing because you simply cannot use this metric to calculate someone's revenue by dividing their total views by 1,000 and then multiplying their CPM. Why? Because not all views on YouTube are monetized. In fact, depending on the age, gender, country, and sector, the ratio of monetized versus non-monetized views can differ greatly. Someone who has 1 million views, of which 100,000 are monetized, will likely earn less than someone with 500,000 views, of which 300,000 were monetized. The name of the game is ads and eyeballs. If one portion of that formula is missing, you're going to suffer revenue-wise. Advertisers, the core revenue source for YouTube, couldn't care less what you're showing as long as it doesn't impact their brand or reputation. What they're after is a specific demographic and eyeballs. If you're able to serve ads and keep engagement up, you will be compensated accordingly. Gaming channels, as an example, are notoriously famous for having a large portion of their views not monetized. This is because a large portion of the audience is computer-savvy teenagers who are accustomed to having ad blockers running. As you will see later, different categories and different demographics tend to have different behavior when interacting with YouTube ads, resulting in different revenue potential. Fortunately for us, YouTube has come out with a new metric called RPM, or revenue per mile. Many others refer to it as true CPM. This new measurement doesn't care about monetized versus non monetized. It's simply the amount of money you earn for every 1,000 views. So if you have a channel with 1,000,000 total views and your RPM is 6, you can figure out that you made approximately $6,000. You can figure that out by taking 1,000,000, your total views, dividing it by 1,000, and then multiplying it by your RPM. We're going to use this figure when talking about my channel. It's less confusing and just makes more sense. You also have to understand that RPM is not a constant measurement. On my channel, for example, I have over 80 videos. Each one has a different RPM, some as high as 17, others as low as 2. Different topics and a whole slew of other variables influence how high or low this figure is. Predicting this number is nearly impossible, but there are certain industries and sectors that generally pay more for advertising and target certain demographics, which result in higher average RPM. Today, we will look at a few other creators and my own videos to get a glimpse into what topics pay the best on YouTube. Some of them are rather surprising. So right now I'm going to show you my YouTube analytics page, which is going to display nearly every possible statistic regarding my channel. Everything from how much I make to where people are watching my videos. Most people, when they see this page, will jump right to this number right here. But that's not the only number you should be focusing on. If I go to my highest viewed video ever, you can see it's currently at about 100,000 views. And if we take a look at the views chart down here, we can easily see that this particular video didn't really pick up steam until about 200 days after I had uploaded it. This is right about the same time that my channel got monetized, so I'm guessing that the mighty YouTube algorithm didn't really start promoting this video until they realized they can serve some pretty good ads on it. Talking to several different people, there is definitely a connection to monetization potential and YouTube's promotion of your video. There have been many recorded instances of people simply adding in mid-roll ads, those that you see appear in the middle of a video, and next thing you know, their video blows up. For this particular video, as you can see, I received $509 for 105,000 views, meaning my RPM, or rate per mile, that all-important metric, is $4.84. That's actually a pretty good rate, and I think it's because the topic of this video is about finance. As we will get into later, there's pretty good evidence out there that suggests that one of the best paying topics on YouTube is talking about how to make or save money. All those finance gurus guys that you see all over YouTube talking about their 1000% returns are most likely achieving some of the best RPM rates in the entire YouTube ecosystem. I won't lie to you that the focus of my channel is also largely about finance as well, but I really try not to be scummy about it. My uploads tend to revolve around options trading, stories of loss and fortune, long-term plays, and fundamentals. I admit I'm not a professional, just someone who really loves learning about the markets and sharing this knowledge with the rest of you. Now I give you this example as a way to help you understand that using the RPM of one video to gauge the revenues for an entire channel can be extremely inaccurate. My entire channel achieves an RPM of $8.64, which to many people across YouTube will come across as a huge surprise. This figure is rather large in the grand scheme of things and doesn't represent other genres well. I have a couple of things going for me. One is the fact that almost all of my videos revolve around finance. 2, I'm in the United States, and most of my viewers are from there as well. And 3, my audience is largely younger male professionals between 22 and 35 years old. This is a prime spot to be for advertising revenue share. If you're making gaming videos with most of your viewers coming from Argentina, for an example, this will likely result in a much lower RPM because from an advertising standpoint, teenagers don't have as much money to spend on those things that companies are advertising, and on top of all that, the salaries and wealth in Argentina compared to other developed Western countries is much lower. But let's forget all that for a minute. You probably clicked on this video to find out how much money can I expect to make with a small YouTube channel with 5,000 subscribers, and here I will show you exactly that. If we head to the revenue page, you can see that in the last 28 days, I have made $630. But what we're looking for is the lifetime of this channel. This tells you everything. As you can see, I have made $3,950 since I started doing this way back in January of 2019, with my RPM being $7.03. So now that I showed you that, you can come back 3 years from now and easily predict how much money I'm making. But I'm just one person. Let's take a look at another creator to see how I compare. Here we're going to look at Anthony Ballesteros. At the making of this video, he had right around 3,000 subscribers focused on finance and stocks. As you can see on your screen, his RPM was actually 1559, which is quite an impressive sum. Now if we go to his total views, we can see he received 124,386 total views since joining on March 12, 2020. If we use that RPM of 1559, we can estimate that he has approximately made $2,095 in that span. That's quite impressive for a new channel, and if we take a look at his content, you can see it's mostly about penny stocks, Tesla talk, side hustles, and other finance-related topics, which, as I mentioned earlier, are some of the best paying topics on YouTube. Now, before you get excited and begin to produce some videos, it's also important to note that these numbers we're displaying right now do not include the one thing people usually leave out when talking about pay: taxes. Now, before I go any further, I want to remind everyone that I'm in no way, shape, or form an accountant, so do not listen to my tax advice. Every person in a situation is going to be different, but overall, we do know that in 99% of cases in the United States, you will be required to pay taxes on the amount you receive from YouTube. Because you're technically self-employed by being a YouTuber, not only are you likely responsible for federal, state, and local taxes, but you're likely paying a whopping 15.3% for your contributions to Social Security and Medicare. When you work for an employer, you usually get the added benefit of paying 7.5% because your employer is usually responsible for half of self-employment tax. But because you likely classify as self-employed, you're responsible for this portion as well. Now, there are legal ways to reduce your tax burden, and you guys can talk to some accountants about all that, but just understand that a decent portion of any figure you see or get talked about is going to come out and go towards the IRS. I would encourage anyone with a passion to create a YouTube channel and begin making some videos. It's a decent side hustle that can be fun and rewarding if you truly enjoy talking and explaining the topics you're passionate about. In today's world, when we think about professional YouTubers, we imagine the Paul brothers, Casey Neistat, and other similar figures who with their explosive personalities generate millions and billions of views. Beneath this top 0.1%, there is hundreds and thousands of people creating niche content, generating 6 figures per year. While this may not be enough to buy yourself an LA mansion, it's a pretty good living that you can often do on the side without interrupting your personal or work life. While it may be a grind for the first year, it's better to get started right now, today. 1 or 2 years from now, you will be thanking yourself. While this video only scratches the surface, YouTube ad revenue is not the only source of income for content creators. There are sponsorship deals, Patreon networks, affiliate links, and many other ways of enhancing your profits. Thank you guys for watching, and a huge thank you to all my longtime listeners who helped me get to this point. Even at 5,000 subscribers, I feel nothing but gratitude, and I hope my video inspires others to start their channels today.